Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get paid when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. And be sure to add our podcast in the How Did You Hear About Podgo section of the application. And welcome to another episode of the Nindie Focus Podcast. My name is Roger. Along with me are my bestest friends in the whole wide world and co-hosts.
Wow. That's too much pressure. Now it's deep.
We got Jordan.
Hi.
And Mike.
Spring forward.
And Phil.
I'm putting my hands down.
Okay.
Wait, did you say spring forward? Did the clocks change this weekend?
This weekend.
I think that's on Saturday, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
which spring forward? So that means time is
In the
I
future.
don't know.
Yeah, we go forward ahead.
Yes.
Right.
It's the bad one.
It's the bad one. It is the bad one.
Why do we keep doing this to ourselves?
I don't know.
that
Arizona
way-
doesn't do it.
Yeah, some states don't do it.
No, hey, there's some laws out there.
Hawaii
that-
doesn't.
There's a law. There's a law that's being passed or trying to be passed called, was it Save the Sunshine? I think it's called.
But the amount of time, daylight doesn't actually change.
Save the Sunshine.
But it's
No, I
when it
know.
happens.
Yeah, it's when it happens. Yeah.
Right. That's why it's stupid that it's called Save the Sunshine. Like, it's not like all of a
Like,
sudden there's an
fight
hour
for
less
the-
of sun.
Fight for your right for sunshine or something. I don't know. Anyway, I find these names of bills to be very funny. Like, what the heck? Who came up with this name? Anyway, yeah, that they're trying to do away with daylight saving time. Or no, they're trying to keep it daylight saving time all the time. And it's-
Listeners, I would like to point out this is a record. We didn't even get to the word Nindie or focus, and we're already way off the rails.
No, we did. I said, welcome to the show, didn't I? Welcome to the show. I think I did. If you like what you hear, leave us a review. We'd love to hear what you have to say about the show. You guys, I have some good news. I was just
Mhm.
checking the stats, and
Austria's back?
Sweden.
Ooh.
We were ranked
Sweden's jumped
number
ahead of Austria.
23 in the rankings of podcasts in Sweden.
Yo, what's up, IKEA? I
right,
love your
Phil.
meatballs.
I
Swedish
won't
chef?
mess this one up, okay?
I love the Muppets.
love the Swedish chef.
Yeah,
That's
Swedish
awesome.
Chef is one of my favorite characters. IKEA meatballs are the best. I have IKEA furniture in here right now.
There are
Uh,
nights in the expo window that my brother and I talk like the Swedish chef to each other, and nobody else understands what in the hell is happening, and we just sit there and giggle.
Great, love Sweden. I want to go.
Me
Any
too.
listeners out there wanna fund my stay over there? Just let me know.
Don't
You
they
could
have
get-
good? Don't they have good chocolate there too?
They do.
Yeah.
Do they? Is that a thing?
Mhm.
Yeah, they've got that Torbalorn or whatever the hell that stuff's called.
Oh, true. I love that.
Yeah, so we're popular over there. So yeah, if you
What's up, Sweden?
if you want us to come visit,
Hello,
sometime.
Sweden.
I know way more about them than I do Austria, so let's keep Sweden.
Yeah.
They even have their own
Uh,
bikini team.
Oh yeah, they're still around. I think at
Probably
think
not looking so
after-
good in bikinis anymore.
30
but
years. Yeah, that's
Anyway, I'm so glad I went down this rabbit hole. Anyway, so yeah, if you like what you hear, leave us a review
In Swedish.
in Swedish.
We'll Google Translate it.
That's right. All right.
Or
so,
just send us Swiss Miss snack rolls, and I'll be okay with that too.
True. In fact, you send those and we'll not do this podcast anymore. You can
Whoa,
buy us to
whoa,
not do
whoa,
this anymore.
Whoa. No, what?
If they send enough of them, I don't know. Maybe it's worthwhile. They're really
Yeah, 'cause
good.
We'll be dead. That's why. Anyway, welcome to the show. So we have the budget game. What is the budget game again? What's that called?
It is called Regions of Ruin.
Region. Oh, interesting. Because I have a game that I played today that well, not
Was
today.
it Regions of Ruin?
No, well, I mean, yes, I played that one too, but
It's like, no, I didn't play that one.
I didn't play that one. I'll tell you a different one I played. Yeah, so who here, we talked about this before the show, Maybe we should switch it up like the Switch on a budget thing.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Who here played some Nindie games this week?
I'll go first.
Damn it, Mike! You and I do this all the time.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right, I'll go first. So I'm continuing my journey on those Bit.Trip games that I purchased last week.
I bought them.
Oh, nice. So the one that I played was the first one that came out. That game was Bit.Trip.Beat. And that one is so good, and it was designed specifically for the Wii. So I was curious how it translated to the Switch. So basically, how Bit.Trip.Beat works, it's essentially it's a one-sided Pong. So you move your the paddle on the left side of the screen, and the different dots come at you from the right side, and you have to hit them back. But what makes it so good is it has such an amazing, catchy soundtrack to it. And there's different types of dots that come flying from the right to the left. There's just like the regular ones, but then there's some that go in like a snake pattern, and there's some that like zigzag, and there's some that bounce, and when you hit it, it bounces to the right a little bit and then curves and bounces back like gravity's pulling it towards you. And each time you hit one of the dots, it goes along with the music. And the more you hit, the more your bar goes up. And when you get to like the next, I guess, level of your bar, the music gets a lot more detailed, more trippy. On the flip side, if too many of the dots fly past your paddle, it goes the other way, and then it finally goes into black and white Pong with no music, no nothing, just one boop or beep whenever the dot hits it, and you have to get yourself out of that before you can get back into the good music. So
which one is this again?
This is Bit.Trip.Beat.
Okay.
So the way it was set up, the way it was set up on the Wii was you had to hold the Wii remote sideways, and you twisted it, like tilted it to move the paddle up or
forward,
down.
right? Move it, pull it back, right? Yeah.
Right. Up and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I played in handheld mode, and it's pretty much the exact same thing. You tilt the switch.
Interesting.
Like up and down, forward and backward, or whatever, to move the paddle. It's very intuitive, and it works really well. There's also just you can press the Y button, it'll center your paddle, so like immediately.
Good.
So that way, if you get lost or something like that, you can easily recenter. But it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, it is a tough game. But the cool thing is when you learn the patterns that some of these go in, because some go like bounce off the edges, they go on an angle, and they're like right next to each other. So you have to slowly move your paddle up as they're coming down. So it goes like boop, boop, boop. And then, but if you don't move your paddle, it'll go past it. So there's a lot of different stuff. There's also some power-ups that you get that like doubles your paddle, and you have to like and then two of them start coming at you at once, and you got to try to line them up. And it's just a lot of craziness, but I love it.
That's interesting. I didn't try it in handheld because I did try it docked.
Oh, okay.
And I foolishly thought I could play with a controller, like like a pro controller, because that's what I had. And then I realized, you can't. You need to actually play with like a Joy-Con.
Oh,
I mean, I couldn't use the joysticks, I guess. I didn't try if I could
You can turn the gyroscope off.
Oh, you can?
There's an option to do that, yeah.
Oh, I guess. I just turned it on and I checked it and I said, I have to do this with that controller, and then I turned it off. So I guess I didn't dig any deeper than that. So
you mean you have to use your hands?
What?
It's like a baby's toy.
Yeah, exactly.
That was good Back to the Future reference.
Yeah. That's awesome. Anything else?
That was it.
Nice. All right, Phil, since you you and Mike were gonna fight there over who was gonna go next, I'll let you go next, Phil.
Somebody has to kill the awkward silence that happens from time to time when nobody wants to be the first one.
That's right.
We both jumped at the same time. I didn't play anything too heavily with the exception of Regions of Ruin, but I did mess around with two games. I know one of which, Roger, you played and I think you were a fan of. And I only put about 15 minutes into it, but it's Gonner 2.
Oh, I did not play that game.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I thought Mike played that game.
I played the original Gonner.
Maybe that's what it was. It's super pretty and kind of trippy, very colorful. The world kind of generates in front of you as you're playing. I couldn't really tell you what type of a game it is. It's kind of a platformy, shootery, strange game. I really want to like this game, but I have no idea what in the hell is going on with it. Like, I know that when you die, you go back to a certain point and you have to collect a couple of things to like kind of build your body back up to do things. But then when you get hit, you kind of break into pieces and you have to go collect all your pieces as like this little blue blobby thing. But then after it happens so many times, you get consumed and you have to wail on the A button or the B button, and then it's still game over anyways, and it tells you what your highest score is. Then you go back to this tree that's super cool looking, but I didn't really understand what was going on, so I didn't give it a ton of time. I'll probably check a little bit more of it out. Just me being stupid and not being able to understand and figure things out.
Well,
Yeah, I'll agree. That's the one thing I didn't like about the game. Like, they give you no direction.
yeah.
Like, there's no story. It's just like, okay, here you go, do this. It doesn't even, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't even tell me, at least on the first one, what the weapons did.
Mm-mm.
Like, when you selected a weapon, it's like, okay, this weapon does this. Or
all I ever even got from it was like the shotgun or whatever the first gun was.
Right. The one thing I will say though, yeah, you were right. I really enjoyed the art style. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you remember I think it was a really long time ago. They had this thing. I think it was like, do you remember the brand Rose Art? They they made like knockoff markers or something like that.
Their crayons were bad.
Yeah,
they were too waxy. If you had Rose Art crayons in class and not Crayola, like, you were made fun of. Seriously,
you'd like to apologize to the Rose Art people for.
I wouldn't.
No. I meant the people that had Rose Art, not the Rose Art company.
Rose Art should have made better crayons.
Yeah,
they're probably made in Sweden. I'm sorry.
I think they had a product that was like, it was like a black screen, and when you draw on it, it was like a whole bunch of different rainbow colors. I
remember that.
When you lifted it up, it went back to normal. That's what that game kind of reminds me of. Like,
most definitely, yeah. The visual style is very unique, and it's super pretty and moderately. I'll go with the word trippy that we seem to be throwing around here a lot lately. But it's got that same vibe to it, and then it almost has like a little bit of like a South American flair to it, where there's like the Dios de los Muertos sugar skulls that are in the game as well. At least in the second one, that randomly they're just like, oh, this is going to have that type of a flair, but it really didn't. It was just kind of the art style that does, which didn't really go anywhere. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably put a little bit more time into it and see if I can't make sense of it. The other game that I started to mess around with is a game called Night Call. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this.
I've always been curious about that one. I have never played it, but it's been one of those that every time I see it, I'm just like, oh, maybe I'll pick that up one day. And that's been like 2 years now.
Yeah, so you play as a taxi driver who's trying to get information out of people to help the police solve crimes. There's 5 different cases from what I can tell in the game. I started playing the first case on the mode that's recommended, which is Night Call mode or whatever. And it turns out that you end up getting shot by a serial killer. You're the only person to survive the serial killer. And it's a month later, they induced you into a coma to try to save your liver. And then you get back into the cab and start driving again. And your boss hops in the back of the cab to start out with and kind of gives you the rah rah shish boom boss speech. And he grills you for a little bit of information. He says he doesn't quite think you're ready. The entire time that you're talking to him, there's looking inside from the outside of the windshield towards the car itself. So you see yourself and person in the back seat. But then above you is a map. And mind you, this all takes place in Paris. And it shows exactly where you are, like on the GPS on the map. And after you get done with the initial conversation, you're then told you got to go pick up fares. So you kind of have to judge like where you want to go with your fare and how far you want to go and what you might get paid from it. And as you pick people up, you start talking to them and kind of trying to get information from them that's relating to your story, hopefully. And after a certain
Wait, what? Random people you're picking up in taxis? You're trying to figure out your story?
Yeah, because they think that like the police have kind of got some suspects and people have seen things. Not your story, but you're trying to figure out who like the serial killer is. And so you're trying to get like information from people on the street, basically, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, if I hop in a taxi and somebody's like, so, see any murders lately? I'd be like,
well,
no.
Did you kill anyone lately?
It's a little bit more casual chat than that. Like, so where are you headed? Oh yeah, what's your bit? What are you going there for? Like, kind of things. And you can see like gauge people's reactions. And then like as you're driving the person, it shows on the map where you're going. There's the GPS type of line showing where you need to be. But it's kind of weird because I don't know if maybe you might run out of time before the destination. You might not be able to get the full conversation in. But every time you get a piece of information that's relevant to the story, it lets you know that you've got a piece of information that's relevant to the story.
There's a lot of people that are relevant to the story, though.
Not everybody is, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, even if you find like 2 people that are relevant to your story that like saw this specific murder, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like 2 people, like in a night of you being a taxi cab driver, and you ran into 2 people that saw a murder.
Well, it's not just a one night thing. When you get done at the end of the night, you go back to your apartment, your flat, your whatever, and you start analyzing all the evidence that's been given to you. At a certain point, at least in the first game, at the end of the first night, a female jumps into the back of the taxi. And you're like, oh, I know this woman. I recognize her voice from the hospital. Turns out she's one of the cops, and she thinks that the cops aren't exactly doing this right. And that's how you kind of learn that this is now what your due diligence in life is. And she gives you a bunch of information to like kind of be on the lookout for and hints for. You drop her off. You go back to your hotel room. You start analyzing all the evidence, and you've got a big cork board on the wall with all the classic lines drawn in between everything to try to like make everything fit and go together. And that's where I quit playing. I'm kind of intrigued by this game, but it's really, really slow, very story intensive, obviously.
What is this game?
But there's Night Call.
Night Call.
But there's no spoken dialogue in it. It's all read. And I feel as though spoken dialogue would have given a lot to it. It might have been made in Russia or somewhere else. And I think maybe that's a part of it because there are some grammatical errors, which lead you to believe that could be a thing. I'm intrigued by it. There's not a ton of animation. The art style, and it's very noir, which is kind of cool. I just wish there was a little bit more to it besides just picking up fares, talking to people, and trying to put together the mystery. It might end up working out okay in the long run, like at the end of the first mystery or whatever. We'll see what the like actual payoff is, if it's executed well or not. But it's one I plan on going back to and seeing, at least playing through this first mystery and seeing what happens.
I bet you that your character's just a nut job that thinks he's trying to figure out a mystery that he's not. He's just like a taxi cab driver. That just seems weird.
It is a little weird, but he's the only person that's ever like seen this guy that anybody knows of and survived. Like everybody else has died at the hands of, what are they calling this guy? I don't even remember what his name is. And so they figure as though you've got the most amount of insight to it. And it, like you pick up this homeless guy and he's kind of one of your boys. And he's like, yeah, I saw him the other night just before he shot somebody. It kind of gives you a little bit of information about the guy. So then I don't know if maybe you start like, because you can see pictures of the people that you're about to pick up. So I don't know if maybe the more information you get, you're trying to lean more so towards that style of person. Like I said, I'm super early into it, but I'm intrigued.
Is this like, what was that where you can win cash in a taxi?
Oh,
instead,
Cash cab?
Cash cab. Instead, this is
That show rules.
solving crime cab. Come on in. Let's figure out this crime together. Hey,
murder buggy.
I would ask you 20 questions. You tell me.
You know, the game would have been a lot cooler if you were Johnny Cab from Total Recall.
Oh, man.
Hey, he said he's early in. He still could be. Who knows?
Yep. We don't know yet. But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Okay. Before we move on, I just want to...
Oh, here we go.
I just saw this. What is wrong with rose art crayons?
Did you just Google this?
Yes.
Yeah, they're bad. I'm not making it up. They're bad.
They have been found to be to break easily, have chunky application, and obviously use cheaper ingredients. People have also complained that some of the rose art crayons aren't even labeled with the correct colors.
See?
Did you look into where they're manufactured so that way we
Yes.
don't know?
New Jersey.
Oh,
well,
there you go.
Yeah, that's
No wonder.
I'd like to
Sweden, you're safe.
apologize to the residents of New Jersey.
No, we don't.
Shouldn't they apologize to us?
They stand behind. If they stand behind those crayons, then yeah.
If they stand behind New Jersey,
Moving on.
Does it also mention that they don't taste as good as Crayola?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, though, one thing that I will say that
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Wait a second.
I will say this, that I was looking at somebody put them out in the sun for 12 hours versus Crayola crayons, and rose art crayons left out in the 12 hours barely melted. Crayola left out in the sun for 3.5 hours were like just absolute goop. So
As it
there you
should be.
go. There you go.
So it's kind of like the McDonald's burger that you can leave under the front seat of your car for 40 days and it doesn't mold in the slightest bit.
Those
Yeah.
are the best.
They still taste good. They still
Throw them in the microwave for 30 seconds and it kills everything.
That's right.
You know, actually, that explains a lot, though, because I think I used I went and bought a bunch of cheap crayons because I wanted to do some melted art, like, put them on a canvas and do some melted art. And it did not turn out very well.
Now you know why.
I need to buy Crayola. So
Good stuff.
anyway, sorry that I know. Moving on.
I will say this though: if Crayola is interested in sending us any kind of sponsorship,
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Crayola. I'll talk you up literally every episode. I love your crayons.
As Jordan just tweeted it.
Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh, this is going off the rails. All right, Jordan, what have you been playing?
Well, I certainly haven't been using rose art crayons.
I
That's
guess
for sure.
Jordan can't remember what he's playing. He's just too blinded by anger.
Yeah, Jordan, did you get picked on really bad with rose art crayons or what?
No, I had Crayola. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna be caught dead with rose art.
There's two kinds of people in the
So I
world.
was just gonna say the same thing, Phil.
I still don't talk to kids. If they want to talk to me now, I remember they had rose art, and I'm just like, no. Go when you first go on a date with someone, you ask, oh yeah, growing up, do you have rose art or Crayola? And they say rose art, and you say this date's over, and then you leave and let them pay for it. It's ridiculous.
You can search rose art in Jordan's phone, and he's got 15 different contacts that are all blocked with just like Dave rose art crayons.
Yeah, that's right. Oh
I've
man.
gotten rid of many friends this way. But you know what I'm left with? Cool
What?
Crayola friends.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Anyways,
what have you been playing?
Not much. I actually played a good old chunk of Regions of Ruin. So when we talk about that, I played it a lot because I actually really liked it. Other than that, I just played a bunch more Littlewood as well. So if you all want to hear more about that, I've talked about it for a couple episodes now. It's still good. It's still fun. It's still the constant leveling up, upgrading slowly, unlocking things. For example, there was this other town you can travel to because you like build a hot air balloon, so you can travel to other places. And I went to this other town that you're also trying to build up and everything, and unlocked a pet shop for one, so you can adopt
cool.
a pet, but it's very expensive, so I haven't been able to do it yet. I think there's 4 or 6 different cats and dogs in there, so you can pick which one you want. And then also there's because there's animals and it's like a fantasy world and stuff. There's a monkey on the pier who has a boat, and you have to get your fishing level to level 30 and he'll let you borrow his boat. So I just did that, and now once a day you can go out on his boat to one of 3 or 4 locations and get different fish or different items that you can't just get in the normal rivers and stuff like that. So it's still just constantly unlocking new things, and just feels good to be like, oh, I finally hit level 30 in that. Oh yeah, now this person will let me do this thing. Yeah, it's just good. If you just like completing things and crossing off a list, something on a list to feel like you accomplished something, this game is perfect for you. And it's so calming that you can just spend hours in it and relax before bed. It's great. I love this game.
I picked it up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I played a little bit. I haven't played much of it, but yeah, no, I like it. It's a good game. It's like you said, it's relaxing. So
Yeah,
do enjoy
it's
it.
very chill.
But I need to play more. I haven't played much of it.
Yeah, once it really starts opening up, and it's kind of just free reign of everything, it gets really, really good.
Yeah, I found myself doing, this is so silly, but I just started, right? But I was like, oh, I want all these trees to form this, and I made this little grove. And I didn't really do anything. I was just just playing around with moving things around. So
but you can do that. It's fine.
It was fun. I will say it was very relaxing. I was like,
yeah,
ooh, I'll make my town look like this. So no, it's cool. I like it a lot. So cool. Anything else?
Nope, that's it until shortly when we just talk about the budget.
So for myself, so I picked up a game. So I picked it up and then I didn't play it for a while. And then this is really funny. That's not that funny, but we had a power outage the other day, really early in the morning at 4:00 in the morning. And I don't know why I woke up, but I woke up and then I realized my clock was off, everything was off. And then I was like, oh crap, I can't go back to sleep because otherwise my alarm won't go off. And then I'm in big trouble. So I just stayed up. I got up and
you don't have an alarm set on your phone?
Oh, yeah, I could have done that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I guess I could have done that. Well, I guess it uses as an excuse to get up, I guess. So I played Rogue Heroes, Ruins of Tasos. I think that's how I pronounce that. So this is, have you guys heard of this game at all?
No.
So it is I know, Mike, you're going to love this. It's a roguelike. But it is like the lightest of the roguelikes. Like it's super not real rogue like I guess. It's a Zelda. It looks like Zelda. So basically you are a character. You can play I think up to 4 players online with this. And you are in this little town and you are given different quests to build this town, to help build this town. And then you go into a dungeon, which is procedurally generated. And you go into the dungeon to collect gems. And then when you die, you bring the gems back to your town, and then you can build the first thing you do is you build a house for the blacksmith, but then the blacksmith like says, oh, you should build a house for like the like different merchants. Like there's like there's like a mercantile person like who will make clothes, and then when you open that up, then you can get different classes. Like, so then you can buy clothes that you could be a wizard, or you can buy clothes that makes you a pirate, or you can be a clothes that makes you like a ranger. So then you can unlock these different things, and you can use gems to unlock those different talents. And then you can unlock I guess the first one is a builder, then the next one is a blacksmith, and then he can build swords for you, and then you can level up your swords, and you can level up your sword play with that through that, and then you can open up a hospital, and they can help you with your health, and like that's how you level up your characters to these gems. And it has like a tree at each one of these houses. We first have to build the house, and then with the gems, and then you can level up each skill or each tree at these different places. It's really cool. I really like it a lot. So, I mean, I know I said it's procedurally generated dungeons. I mean, when you go into the dungeons, I mean, there's obviously some rooms that are designed in those dungeons that they focus on, right, to make sure that everybody has kind of the same experience. Like the couple times I ran into this dungeon, the rooms were different all the time, but I mean, not different all the time, but different layout all the time. But a lot of the rooms are the same, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. And you can play online. You can play locally 4 players, or you can play online with 4 players. And then you work towards building this town that you live in. And then the more gems you get, the more you can build this little town and level up your character. I played, like I said, I only played like maybe 3 or 4 hours of this so far. But I was pretty addicted, and each run was only like 12 to 15 minutes. I mean, I guess it depends on how good you are, right? But then, I started to level up my sword so that I do more damage. And then I started leveling up my health so I can last longer. Yeah, it's cool. I like it a lot. It's fun. It's a cool game. Is that
the one, the video you sent me?
Yeah. Yep.
It did look pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it plays like Zelda. You walk around, there's bushes, you can pick them up and throw them. The first dungeon even looks kind of like a level that it would be in a top-down Zelda game, kind of like Link to the Past almost, right? So, yeah, it's a good game. I think it was, what did I say, $20? I think, right, Mike?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, for an online experience, I think that's really pretty reasonably priced. I think that the game came out pretty recently too, February 23rd. So,
oh, nice.
Yep, $20. So, yeah. So that's what I've been playing. That's really all I've been playing. I mean, like I said, I tried a little bit of Littlewood, and I liked what I played so far. I'll be playing more of that, and then I just turned on Bit.Trip.Beat just to see it. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't look into it deeper, so I need to play more of that, but.
Yeah, use the Joy-Cons.
Okay.
It makes such a big difference. It tells you you can turn the gyro off, but don't. The gyro is the right way to play this game. Okay. Cool. All right. Then let's move into the switching on the budget game. So Jordan, I'll let you introduce this game.
Sure. So it's called Regions of Ruin. It's currently at its all-time best price of $2.50. normally $10, and it's on sale still until the 24th. So you still got time. Let's see. Do I want to read this? I don't know. Let's see. You're a dwarf. You want to be a dwarf? A dwarf
Not
game.
really.
Talk to other dwarves. It's a 2D side-scrolling RPG with town building. So basically, you kind of have your camp set up. People will slowly come there. You build up your town and get like a bigger tavern, a blacksmith, so that you can upgrade weapons, a market, so you can buy stuff and sell stuff that you get when you go out to explore. So that's basically your home base. You have a nice little plague doctor who heals you from wounds. And then basically you go out, you collect resources like food and wood and everything like that. Basically to bring back and to craft new things, or to explore the world, because you have the world map and everything is kind of like foggy, and you will like uncover some areas, which will, every time you do it, cost a certain amount of food, as if you're traveling there with your troops or whatever, or just you yourself. And then you some like points of interest will be up on the map, and then you can teleport to them. And it's basically just a one little level that's side scrolling, and it may be a little town where people you can recruit or talk to, or they have an issue, or it may be there may be a goblin encampment, or orcs or something like that, where there's combat. There's leveling system. There's different weapons you can use. You can throw axes. There's shields. There's swords. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's skills that you get that you can upgrade for, you can like throw your axes faster or farther, or your shield will block 100% of damage, or there's just a whole bunch of stuff like that. There's a lot to do with it. A whole bunch of loot, whole bunch of, the skill tree. Lots of quests, and basically you're just trying to save and recruit dwarves to your town and save them from extinction. So, who wouldn't want to do such a noble cause?
Well, I mean, nothing against the dwarves. I just didn't really. I mean, I'll go first just because I probably played least of it. I just didn't get into this game. I just didn't get it. I don't know. It just felt really slow.
Yeah. I will say that I felt the same way until I cleared out about my fourth area, and then 4 hours passed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because I just kept going and going and going. I'm like, all right, this is actually kind of cool. Like, I just hop into this area and I clear it out, and I head back home. And if I'm beat up enough that I need to go talk to the plague doctor, if not, I'm just going to keep hanging out in this area and clearing out more and more of this map, and collecting more and more resources and sending more and more workers out. And I did a lot of more and more, apparently.
Yeah. No. It definitely gets like that, yeah. Because you're just like, oh, I want a new piece of loot, or I heard a rumor. Because like you'll talk to people and they'll have a rumor, and that'll unlock places on the map. So you'll just be like, oh yeah, for that place, like they mentioned that if I clear out these 3 orc captains at these 3 different encampments, then like I'll get something really good for it or whatever. So I'm like, oh, I want to go do that, or whatever.
But I just felt like even the attacks and the movements, what just felt so. I don't know. Maybe
it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a slow game.
Slow. Yeah.
It played like an 8-bit, a 16-bit game, like one of those side scrollers.
Yeah. It's not a fast-paced combat. It's a lot of like block it, and then you have a stamina meter. Everything uses stamina for your attacks. There's a stealth thing, which is actually cool, because when you use stealth, it'll like you'll actually go behind some of like the environment and stuff like that. And it's like Skyrim like, where they'll see you, and there's like a little meter that will detect you or whatever, which is cool. But yeah, no, it is very slow, but that's why I liked it.
Okay. And I mean, and first of all, I'm glad to hear that it is slow, because that was just like, maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. And I didn't put a lot of time in it, just because I just didn't get into it. I just couldn't it didn't suck me in. So
it also does get a bit faster as you get more loot and stuff, because as you get loot, and especially the skill trees, because it's like there's 4 different skill trees, and it's like your sword, the shield, so it's basically defense, your throwing axes, and then one other thing which I forget. So basically you can like really go down one tree, and each of them have some passives or like full on like actual ability stuff. So like I did my shield, because if I held it up, I would move slower, but I would block 100% of it. And then I got a dash for my shield, where if I was holding up my shield and dashed, it would go through them and stun them for a second. So basically I was just like shield bashing people and then hitting them in the back, and then, doing stuff like that. So once you like get your build that you like, I think it definitely gets faster for sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had me. I was gonna say it was very Skyrim-like, but you beat me to that. It definitely takes some getting used to. This is I'll compare it to Stardew Valley, like where it's like if you try to play it and think you're going to be immediately hooked at first, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
You really need to get into it and really play. It's actually is a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
same.
But I like the graphics. It's very simple. I like I like when like the sun was setting and everything like that. So they have a very good aesthetic with the game, and the combat is very straightforward. It's definitely put the time into it. If it's something that you might be interested, put the time into it, and you'll get enjoyment out of it. But don't say like, okay, well this is no good after.
Yeah.
Don't pull a Roger, is that what you're saying?
And I will say, especially for 250, this is well worth it.
It's well worth 250.
Very well done. There's a lot to it. You can get a lot of time out of it for 250.
Can we also just touch on the fact that the injuries were pretty amusingly named as well?
Yeah. Yes, that's cool.
I got quite a few chuckles out of some of the injuries that I sustained.
Yeah, and they're cool too, because it's like, you go out and you'll like start getting these wounds and stuff, and they label the wounds, and then if you have bandages, you can basically use them out when you're out and about, and it'll like heal one of the wounds and stuff like that. But yeah, you'll like get like, I forget one that I had, but it was like my buttocks, it was just like stuff.
Yeah, like
that.
I had a fractured buttocks or something like that. I do have to say I spent a lot of time too, especially on the bosses, dashing behind them and wailing on them from behind, and then dashing the other direction and wailing on them from behind. I had a really good time with this game.
A couple of bosses too.
Oh yeah, did you touch
the hard?
Yeah, same with that librarian who's like, don't touch anything. And I was like, oh, cool, there's a book up here. I'm going to touch this book up here. And all of a sudden, the entire library is just filled with fireballs, and I'm dead in 0.5 seconds.
I never had that.
Yeah, that was pretty early on, too. It was one of the early towns you go to that's up north. And he's like, and the guy that like greets you outside, because all the towns kind of have a guy that like greets you outside and give you the skinny of what's happening. And he's like, there's a librarian here, but he's spent way too much time inside with his books. And you go and talk to the librarian. He's just like, yep, I'm the librarian. I'm keeper of books. I read a lot of books. And then like the last thing is like hints or something like that, if I remember correctly, with almost every character. And he's like, yeah, don't touch anything. And so then I went upstairs because I was like, oh, there's a pedestal up here. I should see what this is. And there was a book there. So I hit X on it to see what the book was. And he's like, I told you not to touch anything. And I'm not even kidding. He was spitting 20 fireballs a second out, just filling the entire library. And like, all of a sudden it was like, your hair is all burnt off. Your knees are on fire. You're dead.
Wow.
Interesting.
See, I hear this stuff and then I'm like, maybe I should play it some more. I don't know. It just, the story didn't catch me. I just felt like it was like the combat.
You're a dwarf hater, aren't you?
You're going to play for the story. Like,
no,
it's nothing with heavy narrative. It's not like it's going to compel you to actually do this. There's the light narrative, but it's not like anything special.
Yeah. Well, the first guy saved him and he's like, thank you. I'll join your group. I'm like, cool. I'm a doctor. I'm like, great. He's like, well, for a fee, of course. I'm like, dude, I literally just got you out of prison.
Yeah, but you start swimming in gold pretty quick.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just was turned off and I was like, no, you know what?
It almost, in a way, reminded me of Zelda 2.
Yeah. I can see that. And that's maybe why I didn't, I'm not a big fan of Zelda 2. I think there's a lot of people that are not big fans of Zelda 2.
That's true. I have good memories of it though, because I was still super, super young. And I remember being like, this is so different. Like I think it was my first real big, like side scrolling that looks like that, and like town and people were walking around and stuff like that, and then like going into the overworld and then like hitting an enemy, which then took you to another side scrolling section. Like it was just blew my little brain.
Yeah.
But I liked this game a lot.
Okay. Well, that was good. I mean, how much time did you put into it, Jordan?
Oh man. At least 5 hours.
Okay. Mike and Phil, how much time did you guys put into it?
I was a good 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, I put about 2.
Okay. All right. I'll put some more time into it. I mean, if you got, everything that you're saying, I love RPGs and I feel like this should be like right up my alley. It just didn't hook me.
I would say just get to the point where you're actually getting a couple of skills. And then if you still don't like it, you still don't like it. And the good thing about being 250 is that you can just go out and buy it. And if you hate it, you're only out 250.
That's right. That is true.
I would even say get to the point too where you've got workers that are out fetching stuff for you too, because your town building goes so much faster at that point. Like once you've got the workers and you can send them out to start collecting items, it speeds everything up a lot. And like all of a sudden your little rinky dinks tool shed is now holding 500 pieces of wood instead of 50.
Oh, that is true. Yeah. Once it got to that point, suddenly I felt like I was constantly building new stuff. Like I have the like blacksmith and a market and the place that you make like a alchemist place to make like bandages, upgraded the tavern. It like started feeling really good when you're like upgrading your camp more and you're like, oh, this is becoming like a little town and I'm responsible for all of it. Like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you've got 15 people in your town that you're talking to.
Yeah.
And still don't have any quests for you though, for some weird reason.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there you have it.
There you go. All right. Yeah, maybe I'll I like Mike.
Notice how he's not saying good pick like he usually
No,
does.
I mean,
After he called us his bestest of best friends, and now he can't even give you a good pick on that, Jordan.
Hey, it sounds like a good pick for you guys.
Pick, so.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys enjoyed it, and I mean, I'm not going to enjoy every game. We obviously covered that already. Yeah, that I'm not going to like every game that you guys like.
Or any game that we like for that matter.
It's funny that it's always me versus you three. That's the weird part. I don't understand. Like,
barely said 2 words.
What you said, Mike, was give it more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah, you did.
But that was still a little bit more than 2 words.
That's true. Do you have some more to say?
Mike, do you have anything you want to add?
Me like game fun.
Worth $250.
Worth $250. You buy now.
Okay. I'll give it another shot. So, all right. So is it my pick?
Sure.
Sure.
It is, right?
Before you make your pick, I just want you to let you know, Roger, that the Amnesia collection is on sale right now.
That's a scary game, right?
Yes.
No.
Yes, it is. Don't listen to them.
In any way, shape,
yes, it
or
is.
form.
I did see that on sale, and I thought, oh, that sounds familiar. Maybe I should. And then I thought, no, that looks scary. I probably won't want that game.
No. It's Amnesia. You're trying to recover your memory. That you're in a hospital, and then you drive a taxi.
Wait, before you say anything, there's a new game that just came out called Bishoujo Battle Cyber Panic. Classic Japanese reveal mechanics meet modern mecha musume fan service. It's another little puzzly reveal the anime girl game. Just saying, it's $4.79, 20% off right now. Just saying, it just came out.
Okay, well, that is not. I have it down to 4 games. I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and you're going to help me pick which one we're going to.
This is like one of those internet tests, like which Harry Potter character are you?
Yeah,
I choose the one that has anime girls.
I took it 6 times before I was Snape.
Who are you the other 5 times?
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore? Yeah. Oh, that's funny. All right. So do you guys want to play something cute?
Ooh.
Do you
anime
want to
girls are cute?
Not anime girls. Do you want to play something where it's more narrative driven? Do you want to play more action adventure, or do you want to play more exploring and fun? Goofiness?
Here's the way I just took Roger's survey. What kind of game do you guys want to play?
Yeah.
I'm torn between exploring and cute, just because I'm curious where the cute thing is going.
Can I explore cute things?
No.
Is it the anime girl game?
It is not.
Explore cute things?
Nope. Sorry. So we have either we have 2 games. So it's either cute or adventure exploring.
Hey, we narrowed it down to 2.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all on you now.
Oh crap!
All right. It's your choice, not ours.
I know, this is so hard. All right, we're gonna pick. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the games that I didn't pick. Okay, and then I'll tell you the one that we're going to play. So, the very first game, which is the more of the dialogue discussion type game, I guess. I don't know. Was called Should We Talk?
Okay.
Have you guys heard of this game at all?
I think I've seen it in the store, but I know nothing about it.
Okay. So it's a narrative game. So we're not playing that one. The adventure action type game was Chasm, which is on sale for $9.99 right now, half off. So if that's
familiar with that one.
The game. Okay, so now I'm going to choose the exploring game. So the cute one that I was going to suggest, and I did pick it up. I didn't play it yet though. Is called Woven. Like Woven.
Oh, I think I looked at that one too and almost picked it last week when it was my turn, actually.
Yeah, it looks really cute. and that's on sale until the 24th. So the game that I did pick is on sale until the 17th. So you have a little bit of time. It is normally $17.99, and it is for $8.99 right now. And the game is called Here Be Dragons.
Okay.
So eradicate legendary monsters to allow Columbus to discover the new world. Here Be Dragons is a satirical turn-based strategy game featuring unique living map graphics where you lead a group of crazed captains. Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492 in 10 weeks with 100 men, 3 ships. This is a lie. Firstly, someone had to defeat Kraken and Tritons. Someone had to vanquish the Leviathan. Someone had to banish all the ghost ships. The information about these deeds is missing from the archives, and you can't find it in any great statesman's memory. The knowledge of the Avant Armada was completely erased from some bloody officials. So this must be a British game. Features include the original dice activation system to attack enemies, heal your crew, and upgrade your fleet. So yes, it's going to be one of those games.
Okay.
Collect ink and use errata. I'm not if that's pronounced ERRATA. I don't know. To turn what?
Is it Rosart ink?
Maybe, probably Rosar ink.
Matt's just going to be a big smudge.
Yeah. To turn the tide of the encounter, cross the seas with ancient living maps full of terrible creatures that want to devour you, and then confront the most fierce beasts that ever lived: the Leviathans and Krakens, whales, and lustful mermaids. There you go.
Hey now. All right, now we're talking.
Awakened
I'm just curious how whales get lumped in with Kraken.
Yeah,
I know,
like
what do they
that.
think
They're
that's
just
not
these
like the other?
super docile plankton-eating creatures and those terrible whales.
Oh my God! Look out for the whale! It's coming right for us.
So you decimate Tritons, awaken dragons, and erase them from the human memory. What? And erase them? Then erase them from human memory. That's pretty interesting. Anyway.
So there's some Men in Black aspects.
Apparently. So it looks kind of goofy. It looks fun. So
if I can kill Christopher Columbus, I'm in.
I don't think you can kill him. I think you're helping him.
I don't want to. Okay. I'm going to feed him to a Leviathan.
Or a whale.
Or a whale. Or a mermaid.
Stick him in the blowhole.
Oh my God. This came out not too long ago, actually, September 3rd, 2020. So
okay, cool.
So that's what we'll be playing. Here Be Dragons, or Jordan, maybe We Be Dragons. So Here Be Dragons. So that is from Red Zero Games. I don't know if I've ever heard of this. This is the only game that comes up for them. So so yeah, that's what we'll be playing. Sale ends the 17th of March. Normally it's $17.99. So
cool.
All right. So before we go, then why don't we go around and tell people how they can get a hold of us? We'll start with you, Phil. How can people get a hold of you?
I'm on Twitter at BNow23, and I just did a weird clicking noise with my mouth, and I feel bad about it.
Mike, how can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter at TCThrowers and at twitch.tv/TCThrowers. And so that Phil doesn't feel left out, I'll do this.
This is
Thanks,
not
Mike.
ASMR. Okay, guys. Mike, do you want to plug?
We can change that.
No, we're not. Do you want to plug the TWF?
Sure. If you're listening to this on Sunday, then you just missed out.
That's right.
On the first episode of Twitch Wrestling Federation on twitch.tv/TCThrowers, where several streamers that we are aware of and are friends with go toe-to-toe against each other in CPU versus CPU matches in WWF No Mercy for the Nintendo 64.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be on. So subscribe to the TC Throwers Twitch channel, so that way you can catch the new episodes and watch the old ones there too. So
that's right. And Roger and I are commentating
on the first episode. Yeah,
that's right.
And Jordan, how can people get a hold of you?
You can't. Nah, I'm just kidding. You can find me on Twitter at Cryptic Jordan.
And listeners, you can find us on Twitter at GamerheadsPC. You can also find us on Twitter at FocusNindie. And then you can also find us online at GamerheadsPodcast.com, where you can hear this show along with other shows like the Controller Thors podcast. You can also listen to shows like the Gamerheads podcast and the Real Dudes podcast. And you can read reviews and news articles there as well. All right, Phil, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me. Well, man, I got weird stuff going on inside of my... I'm done.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Jordan, thank you so much for joining us.
Always.
And listeners, thank you so much for giving up a moment of your time and giving us a listen. We appreciate it. Hopefully that you found it to be worth your time. If you did, please leave us a review. We'd love to hear what you have to say about the show. Until next time, stay safe and game on. We'll talk to you on Sunday. See ya.
Take care.
Bye.